This is a Chuki Beats.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of the Nerd Den. My name is Lionhearts. Come on, man. Let me finish the fucking intro. God damn it, dude. Yep. I'm too lazy to start over. No.
You can start over.
No, dude. Nope. We're already into it. My name is Lionhearts, and I am joined today, as usual in my other videos, with my brother and nerd, Jesse. How you doing? Fuckface.
What's good? Super excited to be here.
Clearly, ruining intros. God damn it, dude. You're the worst. And today, for our very first episode of the same thing we've been doing, we decided to brand it. Don't question it. I won't question it. You shouldn't question it either. We're going to be talking about H1z1, King of the Kill, and their latest big update, which seems to be a direct response to their new competitor, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So we're going to go over the patch, talk about the changes, how we feel about it, and then we're going to take some time to talk about H1z1 as a game and where it can go and how it can battle against PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, because obviously right now a lot of people in the community feel Battlegrounds is way ahead of it, and I would have to agree, but I think H1z1 has potential, and hopefully they can take advantage of that, because I'd like to see both games succeed. It makes both games better for them to be in deep competition.
Yeah, I agree. I think competition only breeds greatness.
For
so I
the
think,
consumer.
yeah, for us. I mean, not for them, but for us. So I think H1Z1 has the potential. Without a doubt, it has all the tools, all the pieces are there. I just think with Battlegrounds coming out with multiple guns and multiple features that H1Z1 doesn't have, we've been playing on the same two guns, the same map, still on a preseason, not even in a full competitive first season yet. And the fact that Battlegrounds is coming to console very soon is a little bit worrying. I'd be worried if I was Daybreak, and I think that's what this update's about.
Yeah, and it's very likely that this update's been in the works for a while. Obviously, I'm not a game developer, but I assume that 2 weeks isn't enough time to put out an 8 gig update. So,
yeah, I don't think so either.
But definitely, when PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was released, this obviously put a fire under the
hot
ass,
rush,
I imagine.
for sure. Hot rush.
Alright, so before we get too far into this discussion, we're going to break down this patch. So the first thing, and I think the biggest thing, is that there is now spectator cams in the duo and 5-man queues for H1Z1. This should have been in the game from the fucking beginning. There's no question this should already have been a thing. We're like 2 years in, this should have been a feature a long time ago. It's good that it's here. It seems to work stable enough. I mean, we've only experienced it a couple of times so far, and it's worked, so that's good. But this is no question this should have been in the game already.
Yeah, I mean, it is wanted by the casual player, wanted by the YouTuber, wanted by the pro. I mean, how many YouTube videos are just ruined by one guy dying early and then the other guy goes the whole way and we don't get to see any of his perspective because the other guy's a YouTuber we're watching, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So that's big. Once in duos and fives, once you are eliminated, there's an option to spectate. If you press your camera toggle, which is defaulted to the T key, you can swap between player's POV and free cam. The free cam is still locked to the character, so you can't cheat. There's a new in-game HUD for duos and fives that provides more information on your team, such as weapon equipped and whether they have a helmet. This also extends to armor, so this is laminate and makeshift, as well as how many kills they have.
Yeah.
And
I like
teammates,
this feature.
Yeah, this is good. I think the more information is better, right? So I can't know when I'm playing with you if you get your helmet knocked off. You have to relay that to me. But now I can just look and see it. So that's really good.
Yeah. I also think that makes the game look more polished.
Yeah.
I always said when I first started watching H1Z1, before I even started playing, I always said that the game looked like a game that's 10 years old and wasn't finished. Right. But since they've coming out with all these updates, the HUD and the UI, it's definitely making it feel more polished and more looking like it's a finished game.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's something to be said, obviously. Like, there are some games where I like minimalist HUDs, and the HUD is definitely not invasive in its current state with the new features. But there's a difference between minimalist and withholding information, and there was just some information that they could have provided prior to this update, and these new HUD elements provide that, which is great. Yeah. Alongside these HUD changes, team members now all have unique outline colors, which will match their color in the group HUD. There's a whole new group HUD menu in the main menu. We'll get to that in a second. Teams remaining will now display next to players remaining in duos and fives. This is big, right? Now in duos, when there's 68 people left, I can know how many teams are there. So now if it gets down to like there's 3 people left, I'll know if I'm in a 1v2 or a 1v1v1. This is huge. This should have been in a long time ago, obviously, but at least we have it now. This is a really good feature. Again, more information to the player can't be a bad thing.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. I don't think it's working all the way right now because we played a couple of games in duos, and one game there was 5 people left, and so there was 3 teams, and then the other game we played there was 22 teams left, but there was only 40 players in the game. So I don't know if it's all the way working yet, but once they get that thing on 100%, that's a good.
I think what it's doing right now is if there's still a member of the team alive and the other member hasn't exited the match, it won't say the team is split.
Sure. That doesn't help though. Like we need to see how many teams are left. That's a really important information.
Yeah.
So if the other guy sticks around and like spectates for the rest of the game, is it just going to say there's still a team left, even though there's one guy left?
For sure.
So those are questions that need to be answered.
I think it's something that hopefully gets changed. Obviously, people talking about it helps it get changed, right? So, and then the last change relating to the spectate cam and the new team HUD features is that in the main menu, they've redone the group interface. You can now create groups directly for the main menu before you even go to the queuing for duos, and things are just a lot more accessible. It's a lot easier to use. It looks better. So all these HUD changes are great. Love them.
Yeah,
this is
I
great.
agree.
So I think this will be the most controversial update change out of this update, and that's the new region connection test. So what happens now is upon launching the game will auto-select your region based off where you are, where you're located when you're sending your info to the server. And when you log in and you select your character, it'll show you what region you are in. So that could be North America West, North America Central, North America East, etc., etc., etc. So this is obviously to help combat a long-time issue in the game of people queuing from different regions and exploiting the fact that the game already has shit hit reg by having terrible ping.
Yes.
I don't know how well this is working so far. Because
it doesn't lock you out of servers that don't have high ping. Like, you can select your own server still, which is a problem. I think if you have 90 or 100 plus ping, you should be locked out of that server.
Yeah.
Personally, we'll see how it goes though. I do like, because we logged in earlier today. I had 22 ping on the NA West server. I live in Cali, so that's good.
Yeah, and then when we got in the game, we had 30 ping, so it put us into an NA West server, obviously.
Sure.
But it's not, you're allowed to change it. So if I'm in China and it's like 2 in the morning and I want to get my H1Z1 on, I can still pick North America and fuck over people.
I don't know. You can't find a game, like maybe you live in a region where there's not that many games going on.
That's where I'm tentative to say that there's an issue of people being able to select server size, because you shouldn't ever put a barrier to people being able to get into the game.
Yeah.
You also have to match make it so that the game is fun for everyone. It's just it's a fine line.
115 ping, maybe even bump it up a little bit. But you should be locked out of servers when you got 200 ping and
for sure
300 ping. You need to be locked out of those servers. You shouldn't be able to just pick them.
100%. And this is good. I think this is a good step forward. We now have more information about where people are connecting from, because I now know that if I'm an NA West and I connect to an NA West server, I should expect most of the people in my server to be NA West or at least North America. So that's all comes back to the more information thing. I don't think this is a bad change. And now it's not just going to select. It's not just going to queue you for the fastest game. It's going to queue you based off your region. So I think that's good. So another big change is we have vehicle updates. They've changed how vehicles perform pretty much across the board. The biggest thing being is that vehicles now degrade over time. And it seems like the degradation is very slow. It's not like you're going to be driving for 5 minutes and your vehicle is going to go from 90 to 70. Right? That's not what's going to happen. But they're doing this because they're saying that they think there's too many vehicles involved in the late game, which I agree with that. So now vehicles are going to be performing a lot worse towards the end of the game and just not be there.
Yeah.
And to go alongside this...
Go ahead.
Okay, let me just finish running through this. As vehicles get to certain health pools, they actually start losing performance. So at 50% health, vehicles lose 50% of their torque. That's their ability to turn. So the truck already turns like a fucking whale. Can you imagine a truck at 50 health? Jesus Christ. No. Daybreak. Stop it. At 35% health, you can no longer use turbo. This is big. So now if you're lining up a car now, they can't just speed away. If you get them below a certain health, they're not gonna be able to speed away. So this is good. This makes engaging cars a lot better in my opinion. At 20% health, vehicles lose even more turning ability, and this is where the damage over time kicks in. So from 20% health below, it's gonna take increasing levels of damage over time. At 10% health, you lose basically your ability to turn altogether. It's 90% torque reduction, and you take even more damage over time. So if your vehicle gets to 10 health, it's just a digit state. Just get rid
of it. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, get out of there.
And now, again, more HUD changes going along with this. The vehicle HUD has all been changed. Vehicle health states, as well as lost functionality, are now displayed in the all-new HUD element. Vehicles can now be hot-wired by holding the gas button, which is default to W. This addresses a known exploit where people could change sheets while hot-wiring, which was a joke. And
that's a huge joke.
And the new HUD, I think, looks really good. It's like a gas gauge with the health and the fuel on either side. And it looks good. It's nice and centered on the screen. And
nice
when you're
polished, it looks good.
Yeah, and it gives better information. So now when our vehicle gets to low health, I can tell what kind of debuffs it has. So this is good.
Yeah.
All in all, really good change. What are your thoughts?
Great change. I think it changes gameplay drastically. It's worth saying that once a car gets below a certain percentage, it looks different for the enemy players. Like we were playing in a match earlier where the cop car it basically looked like it was all run down and beat up, and that's because it was a damaged car. So I think the visual changes help it out, and I think it also kind of gets people away from the magnums, from magnuming cars, because cars are not going to be as powerful. That you don't need to carry a magnum around to magnum cars, which is a dick move. Don't do that.
Well, and we'll get to we'll get to that. There are magnum nerfs as well, so even less incentive to carry the magnum, but I'll probably still be carrying a pistol as opposed to the shotgun, because the shotgun is still a fucking joke. And I think that they should just get rid of the shotgun at this point. It's like, it's just a meme, dude. But that's neither here nor there. So moving on, we got more changes. I think these are the most impactful changes of this update, besides the spectator kill cam, is the hit marker changes.
Like the hit marker changes a lot.
So what the hit marker changes are is that incoming and outgoing hit markers have been updated with colors and new animations to help differentiate different impact types, such as hitting or breaking armor versus body shots.
Yeah.
Really good, right?
Big deal.
The whole thing about more information here is so good. So now if you shoot at someone and you get a red hit marker, now you're gonna get like a squelching, like really affirmative sound that you're hitting body. You get a nice big red hit marker. If you hit armor or helmet, you're gonna get a yellow hit marker. When you break that helmet, there's gonna be a purple hit marker. So now when you take someone off their lammy, you're getting positive feedback that you've done that, and now you know you can engage more aggressively if you yourself are still armored up, right?
Yeah.
And then white hit markers are vehicle damage. This is really good. Now you can tell when you're dinging vehicles, which you couldn't before. Vehicles were always kind of a crapshoot. You just had to spam at them and hope you were hitting them.
Yeah, and if you're far away, you couldn't even hear the sound of you hitting the car.
No, it was definitely a crapshoot with the old system to it. And the last change to hit markers is that now when you shoot a teammate, it's going to give you a green hit marker letting you know you should stop.
Yeah, please stop.
And in case you don't like having better hit markers, there is an option in the settings to go back to classic hit feedback if you really want to nerf yourself. Go ahead. Whatever, man.
I think this is the best change in the patch. I think this is the biggest and most impactful change, because before, you're so far away from enemies, like the natural engagement distance in this game is pretty far. Especially and if you don't have a upper end PC that's really good at rendering shit at far away, you have no idea if that guy's helmeted up, armored up, no clue. And with this kind of hit marker system, I think this is really going to help out.
Yeah, and I think even people with good PCs are running at lower settings just to get the best optimization out of the game. So I think for everyone who's taking the game seriously or taking the game casually, this is good. You now engaging at range isn't just, okay, I'm dumping clip after clip. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm hitting him. Not really sure, but I'm going to keep shooting anyway.
Yeah,
that's not the case anymore. And when you get 2-tapped by Mr. Jesus Royalty 2 across the fucking 200 meters away, you know that he was watching his hit markers because he's a professional.
Because he knows, man.
He knows, dude. He's got the info. He's got the knowledge in his hand. He's so good, he probably plays with classic hit markers because he's a fucking god.
Yeah, he doesn't even use the hit markers.
He can feel it, dude. Alright, so moving on. We have lots of optimization changes to the map now. They went in with the big cities, Pleasant Valley and Ranchito, and all the residential areas. And they've redone a lot of the buildings and layouts of the buildings to make them more easier to navigate, as well as just generally optimized everything.
Yeah.
And upon first impression of playing a couple of games, yeah, I was getting better frames in those towns, except when I was recording, because, you know, fuck H1Z1 if I'm ever going to record it. All kinds of problems when I start recording. That might be my fault more than H1Z1's fault. But this is good. You know, optimization's really good. The game could always work better. They've given the big grocery store a new layout. They fixed, supposedly, the issue. There should be far fewer, I'm quoting here, far fewer floating or clipping objects, or objects that prevent looting. And they smoothed up the collision of many objects and structures in the world that would cause vehicles to unexpectedly explode when running into them. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff just needs to be fixed, you know. They're just going to keep chipping at it until they get most of the bugs out of the game.
This is a small one. I don't really... I guess this is kind of big if you like to go to the church or to the graveyards and stuff. Wheelbarrows and gravestones are now destructible. I'm not sure why those two things specifically are destructible, but
okay.
Yeah, that's there.
Whatever. No,
okay.
Okay.
So we already kind of talked about it briefly, but the Magnum is getting nerfed in this patch.
Thank God.
And I'm just going to read the patch notes about this. They thought the Magnum was too powerful at long range. Yes, it was. And especially against vehicles in team games where a group of players with Magnums can bring down a vehicle in seconds from hundreds of meters away. Yeah, that was pretty broken. I think we all do. It was pretty broken. And so what they did was the Magnum bullet is much slower past 60 yards, and the Magnum bullet drops more past 80 yards. So now it's just going to be super hard to engage with the Magnum beyond like normal like AR-15 engagement ranges. So that's good. The Magnum's no longer a powerhouse. I'm still probably going to carry it just because I like it better than most of the other pistols, especially in the early game. You get quick little one-taps. So I'm still going to use it.
Even in the mid-game, you can two-tap somebody if they're up close.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be really good. But I never really used it the scumbag way, which was to spam down vehicles. So
yeah,
this is
a joke.
This doesn't really bother me, but for all those tryhards out there, look out. You can't destroy vehicles in 2 seconds anymore. You nerds.
Get bummed.
We're getting towards the end of the patch notes now. Bunch of quality of life updates for looting. Ammunition boxes now all have unique models. Thank fucking God.
Good change. Really good change.
A really good change, man. How many times I've gone through a place, saw a box of 1911 ammo, thought it was AR-15 bullets, and then was really sad afterwards.
Yep. Same.
Gas grenades and smoke grenades now have new unique models as well. Hit feedback audio is now tied to your sound effects volume instead of interface volume, so that's good. Now I can really adjust my hit marker audio, which is good.
Yep.
They balance out the overall sound effects, and that's about it. Then just a shit ton of bug fixes. Really too many.
We'll put the link for this in the description below.
Yeah, too many for me to go through, but lots of good stuff. There are some known issues with the patch so far that they couldn't get out before launch. Nothing terrible, just like some small stuff, right? Like issues with the kill counts on the UI. Right, there's nothing major that's going on, at least that we know of right now.
Yeah, I think the reason that those aren't fixed is because now that Hub Battlegrounds has been out for a couple weeks, this is a good way to bring hype back to the community. Hey, look at our new UI, look at our new updates, looking great. It's a good way to bring players back. So maybe they needed a little more time, but they were like, well, this isn't the biggest deal here, so we'll just release it. Yeah, and like there's going to be issues with every patch, right? You can't iron out everything. Like you only have such a small sample size. It's better just to put the patch out there and snuff out bigger issues while you work on the smaller stuff internally. So this is good. I think we're going to transition a little bit now and talk about H1Z1 going forward. I think the big thing that this update shows, hopefully, is that Daybreak isn't just all about the money. This was a big content update, and not content by more skins,
content by actual meaningful changes to the game, which it feels like it's been forever since we had something like that. I noticed kind of looking at Twitter and around in the community, it's like people kind of dismiss this update as being terrible, which I don't know. I was looking at Dr. Disrespect tweeted out last night soon after the update that he thought this was the worst update ever added to the game. I was like, what?
Can you give any reasons?
No, I just said it was the worst update ever added. I was sitting there, I was scratching my head, and I was like,
yeah.
What?
I don't know about that. I think it's a good update. I think it's great that they're not just releasing case after case. You know, it can be real easy to fall into that CSGO style where you're just releasing skins and cases because that's just straight cash for you. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is create a skin and release it, and then people will buy it up like hotcakes. But
take notes, Gabe.
Yeah, but with the Pub Battlegrounds coming out, I think it's going to be good for H1Z1.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the case, I think, for these last couple of years that H1Z1 has kind of just stood alone and not really had someone to like worry about, and that's why I think the content cycle for it has been so lackluster as far as meaningful changes. Yeah. If I was in their position, I wouldn't be really worried about doing meaningful content updates either if I had no competition to worry about. But Battlegrounds being out, I think it really puts the incentive there for them to actually work on the game meaningfully again. And I'm being a little bit cynical here, but I wonder if prior to this, Daybreak didn't really care where the game went, they just wanted to bleed it dry. I really hope that's not the case, because in my experience with game developers, very rarely are they not passionate about their projects. But Daybreak... Yeah. At least the way that they were acting outwardly to the community was kind of showing otherwise to me, but I really hope that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, we're on preseason 3 here, and the fact that they're going to have a preseason 4 really has the community upset instead of going straight into the first real competitive season. Right. I think they need to take a step back and realize that now is the time to make sure this game has good life and quality and updates, making sure that we're on top of this shit, because it's easy to lose a community immediately.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people were, so far down the cock of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds because it's the new shiny game, and it has legitimate differences that are better than H1Z1 in some aspects. But I feel like Battlegrounds also has a lot to say for itself that isn't that great, especially if I was looking at it, at least for me personally, if I had to spend $20 on H1 or $30 on Battlegrounds, it'd be H1 more often than not, because I know H1 runs on my system. Battlegrounds is very terribly optimized. Granted, it just came out, and
it needs some time.
Yeah, but it's also running on a more intensive engine in general. Right,
yeah.
So it's always going to be harder to run for people. So H1Z1 has a big opportunity here to offer us, an option to people, for people with lower end systems. This will be the game people are more likely to turn to if they want a game that runs better, because it's always going to run better because the engine is not expensive.
Well, I mean, if you just take a screenshot from H1 and a screenshot from Pub Battlegrounds and put them next to somebody and go, hey, which game is better or newer? Everybody would go Pub Battlegrounds. H1Z1 looks like it's 10 years old.
I don't think H1Z1 looks that old, to be honest.
To me, it looks they're completely different, right? Like one looks like a brand new game that just came out. One looks like Counter-Strike.
Not at all, dude. H1Z1 looks way better than Counter-Strike.
Well, yeah, come on.
Have you seen any screenshots of H1Z1 on Ultra Graphics? It actually looks.
I've seen a couple. Good. You can't. I don't think you can compare them though. I think Battlegrounds.
No, because Battlegrounds is on Unreal 4, and that's a beautiful engine. I mean, with Lawbreakers, Paragon, Squad, Arc, Survival Evolved, all those games are stunning.
Yeah, and I'm just saying though, like you got a casual H1Z1 player, and he sees Battlegrounds, you're like, wow, that looks like a way better version of H1Z1.
Right. And I think going forward, the biggest thing H1Z1 needs to do now is meaningful content. This patch is fantastic, but if I had to take a guess at why people aren't necessarily so hyped up about it, is that there's really nothing new to the gameplay.
Yeah, it's just like polishing.
It's all polished, right? But why are you going to polish an unfinished project? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's definitely time for some new guns. Like I think it really is time for at least one new gun.
I think there needs to be a new main assault rifle. There needs to be something, because if you think about the AK and the AR both represent two different playstyles. We need something that's in between. Maybe something that's like burst fire, maybe an SMG,
or like a DMR.
Or like a DMR, yeah. Or like maybe add some more meaningful stuff to the military crate even.
Right.
It's like,
I mean, what, we opened up military crate today. I had a military backpack and a shotgun.
Oh yeah, thanks Daybreak.
Three things in the military crate, and it just dropped. Like it literally just dropped
in front of us. Oh, it's great.
That's insane.
You know what? This is kind of a tangent, but this is a military supply crate, right? Why is there a hunting rifle that I can buy from Dick Motherfucking Sporting Goods in a military supply crate?
That's a good question.
Daybreak?
Maybe there should be more than one sniper on the map.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why not make the hunting rifle like a rare drop in cities, and like make it like iron sights or something, and it could be like
iron sights.
Man, make it to where it's like a 2-shot or 3-shot, right? Make it like 2 shots to the body without armor or like with armor, and maybe it does like almost a 1-shot on body, no armor or something. And then add like a super powerful sniper that can like 1-shot through Lammy in the military crate, right?
Yeah,
why not do
or
something
give
like that?
one like a 6-time scope and one like a 1-time scope. One that you can't use at super long range, but you still can use it outside of AR range.
Yeah, and then like why not add some? Like I think an SMG would be really good in this game. So
Yeah,
that's
I think
like
so too. Especially in the early game.
Especially because fuck shotguns. God, fucking Daybreak. Fix your damn shotguns, dude. I don't know how many times that people got to make a meme about how fucking terrible the shotgun is for you guys to be like, I think we need to change the shotgun.
Yeah,
like, come
there's
on,
just
dude.
So many options in Pub Battlegrounds. It's insane. I mean,
Pub Battlegrounds has
10
variety out
different
the
guns,
ass.
10 plus different guns, all different customization options that you can just pick up and attach on the fly.
Yep, and I think
it's good stuff. That is.
I want to see a couple of things. I want to see. I think H1z1 could really benefit from an attachment system as well. But I also want to see them do some unique stuff so they aren't just like copying Battlegrounds, right?
Yeah. I think a new gun would be a good start. Because, I don't expect them to just develop something and then have it out in a month or something. But at least a new gun. Like, how come it's the game's been out for 2 years and you don't have a new gun in development?
Because I was focusing on making skins for the AR that you need to buy right now.
I gotta get that Frostbite AR, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, fun fact for all you listening out there, I unboxed a Frostbite AR on my first crate. Suck it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, take it. Fuck you, Daybreak. I ain't giving you no more money. God damn it.
Yeah.
I think even if they're not going to release new weapons, maybe like a change on the default game mode. Like, why isn't there a first-person only like game mode yet?
Why isn't there like a little skirmish deathmatch mode?
Yeah, like a warm up
10 versus 10 or something.
Like a warm up deathmatch.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Like there's a lot of avenues for content they can go down, and I think they need to act fast because Battlegrounds always laid out like their content going for like the next 6 months. Yeah. So H1z1 like Daybreak has to step up their shit to keep ahead. And
PlayerUnknown is they smell blood, man.
They know that they can take advantage of this, that people aren't satisfied with what H1z1 is currently.
Yeah.
And I want to see both games succeed, but part of me, maybe because I've played more H1z1, I kind of want to see H1z1 come out on top because I think there is enough potential here for it to be fantastic. Yeah, I want to see Battlegrounds succeed too, but for me right now, it's not the game I prefer simply because it doesn't run well.
Yeah, it doesn't run well for me either, unfortunately. I really was looking forward to it.
Like
I like H1Z1. I think it's a good time. I think there's a lot of randomness in this game, though, too.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of randomness in Battle Royale games in general.
Yeah.
These games are historically...
a little 10v10 deathmatch, where you just section off a small city. And you don't even have to make a new map. You could just section off the city,
take an
do
area
a
of the
10v10 respawn or something, and be insanely fun.
Just something that's like warm-up, man. I wish I could hop in and like meaningfully practice my gun skills outside the game because there's no avenue to do that right now. I think that's something that seems so basic in most games nowadays. I don't know why it's not here.
I mean, the training mode they have is literally a joke.
It's literally just a free roam version of the main game.
Yeah, and there's hardly any people in there. There's like 10 or 15 people in there. They're all geared up. You can't find anything. Everything's been looted already.
Like, why is it even there?
Yeah, why even play it?
Alright, so if we're going to kind of try and bring this to a head here, and I think we should give 5 things that should be at the top of Daybreak's list for H1z1 changes. And I think number 1 new guns. For sure.
New guns, at least one.
A close second should be a new game mode or a new map.
Yeah.
Number 3, attachment system. I'm going to put an asterisk next to that one because I don't know if that. I don't know if they want to go that route.
Yeah. They have to find a whole new toggle to first person like Battlegrounds has, because otherwise all you have is grips and extended mags and silencers.
So that'd probably be, that's why I'm going to put an asterisk or something. That would be one that I would put on like a wish list that I think it should have, but I can also see the game going on without it. Obviously, plenty of games get by without attachment systems if the gameplay is polished enough. So you step up your shit first, Daybreak, and maybe then we can have attachments.
Right.
Number 4, hit reg. This game needs to have better hit reg overall. It's still very dicey. Even with the new hit markers, it still feels like things are super like clunky as fuck. And I think general there's still some balance issues, and that would be probably my number 5 is balance issues. I personally I think that armor is a little too strong, and it feels a bit fucking like I had no chance when a guy rushes me with Lammy and an AR and I put 5 bullets in his chest with an AK and he only has 60 health when I'm done because he had fucking Lammy on. So I think the armor is a little too strong in my opinion. It's a little too like you can't win without armor. There's no way.
Yeah. You also can't win without a helmet. Like, it's like it goes both ways. Like if you have a helmet, you last way longer. You don't have a helmet, you're dead. So
and there you go. This goes back to new guns. If they had like a little iron sight hunting rifle that was like a bolt action that could one shot through helmets, but it was iron sights only, I think that would be super good.
Yeah, so, I agree.
Hopefully new content is on the way. This patch overall is a good step forward, and hopefully H1z1 keeps on stepping forward and doesn't step 15 steps back and adds 15 new cases between now and next year. Please don't, Daybreak.
Come on, Daybreak. Get your shit together.
Any final thoughts, Jess?
No, I think we wrapped it up pretty good. If you guys want to do, maybe we could do some Q&A or something at some point. So put what you think in the comments about this, and we'll be doing the next episode.
I'm going to be posting this to Reddit as well as YouTube. Obviously, if you guys have been watching all the way through and listened to us ramble for 30 minutes, please hit that like button. Maybe consider giving the channel a subscribe as well. The Nerd Den is something that we do very regularly. In fact, most of the other videos on my channel have pretty much been episodes of this exact show. We just didn't really call it anything.
This is the formal beginning of the podcast.
This is the beginning, except really it's just a continuation of what
since day one.
Yeah, dude, you are the day oneers right now. Anyways, this has been the inaugural, first ever, maybe it's the last, who knows, episode of the Nerd Den. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.
Later.
Yo.